Hello everyone. Welcome to Lify Life, how to help your child overcome shyness and isolation. In any class there are children who are very shy, unsure of themselves, afraid to even say a word out loud and therefore prefer to remain silent and stand out in nothing. These are called silent mice. Teachers never reprimand them, because these children always behave well, do not talk in the lessons and do not violate discipline. However, in the future, constant passivity can lead to bad consequences. Which one exactly? And how to teach such a child not to be afraid to prove himself? This was told by the Zhytomyr psychologist Natalia Sidonak. Don't let yourself be used. If the child is an introvert, then perhaps he is not at all lonely and even comfortable to be always alone and he does not need to communicate with other children. Then you don't need to do anything. But if a child suffers from his own shyness, fear of communication and isolation, then you need to develop his communication skills and work with specialists. Otherwise, serious problems may arise in the future. If a child constantly suppresses his emotions and is afraid to express his opinion, then over time he will get used to living in a state of submission to the opinions of other people and will try to do as is customary in his environment. That is, a person already at school age can lose his own eye, which means that he can greatly lower his self-esteem. Such a child will not conflict, but will not defend his position either. He will always do as he is told. Such children are sure that no one loves them, they are indifferent to everyone, therefore they will continue to avoid social contacts. They are unlikely to make friends. And if there is a person who will maintain a relationship, then it will be a leader who can use a shy child for his own benefit. Gray mice often like to dream, fantasize, keep a diary of their own observations. They usually read a lot, compose, but they do not show the fruits of their creations to anyone, and they also spend a lot of time at the computer. In the classroom, they have difficulty communicating with their peers, and they are also very worried when they have to answer at the blackboard or prepare a presentation. Usually, these children are so excited that at the crucial moment they go into a stupor and a memory gap is formed, despite the fact that they are very well prepared. The result is a failure of the performance, a bad grade and ridicule from classmates. If you do not help such children, then in the future they will be unhappy, because it is easier for them to live without showing themselves in any way, shunning others and at the same time obeying them. What should parents do? Moms and dads should be very sensitive and attentive with such a child, especially if he wants to tell them something. Do not miss any of his words, try to ask leading questions to get a full-fledged dialogue. Watch your child's emotions, even if he hides them. Support him in conversation, encourage, be surprised, admire, in a word, provoke him to express his own emotions. Do not rush the child with answers, as he must think, tune in and decide to voice his position. In order for the child to gradually learn to communicate with others, instruct him to go to the store, or better, to the market, for groceries. Let him visit relatives more often. Ask him to explain to younger siblings, or children of relatives, how to solve problems or write an essay. Ask to call your grandmother, grandfather, and find out about her health. Play games at home that allow you to express yourself, for example, forfeits. To whom the phantom fell, tells an excerpt from any poem, an anecdote or some incident from life. Parents should explain to the child that in no case should you follow the lead of others if he thinks otherwise. At the decisive moment, you need to be able to say no, otherwise you can find yourself in bad company, even associated with crime. With a child, you need to talk about human dignity and determination. Learn from the heroes of books and films who managed to overcome their own fear and embarrassment. Entrust your child with different chores around the house and praise him more. Talk about his virtues, beautiful facial features, kindness, perseverance, the ability to fantasize, and so on. Try to make sure that the child is dressed no worse than other children, otherwise he will become even more shy. It would be great to enroll him in some kind of circle, for example, knitting, drawing, designing, where you don't need to be constantly in sight, but you still have to communicate with your supervisor and peers, discuss projects, set common tasks, and also show individuality in your creativity. How to raise the authority of the child in the classroom. At school, such children can be instructed to prepare short messages on a topic that is very close to them. After all, if a child is really interested in a topic, he can get carried away, forget about his embarrassment and tell amazing things that he read in books or learned from the internet. It can be a message about the life of animals, about countries, about a particular composer or musical styles, about painting, and so on. It's great if the child has a hobby. Then you can organize an exhibition of his drawings in the class, postcards, posters, products from the designer, clothing models. In a word, you need to give the shy child the opportunity to express themselves. Then he will be able to believe in his own abilities, gain authority from classmates and increase his self-esteem. And over time, he will get used to making messages that are perceived with a bang, will no longer be afraid to answer in class, his terrible shyness and self-doubt will gradually disappear. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for our new content. Click the bell sign to stay in contact with updates from us. Hope seeing you back on Lify Life.